Hi, my name is Lorrie Potvin, and I'll be reading today from Horses in the Sand. It is a follow-up memoir to my first, called First Gear, a motorcycle memoir. And I've chosen a story that I, from a road trip I took in 2016. I wasn't able to afford both gas and a motel, so I ended up sleeping in my car. And I'm going to introduce a couple of alter ego characters that kept me company. I hope you enjoy. I pulled up to the beach area and unloaded my cooler. Skinny Bitch, a shame and guilt expert, laid out cottage cheese, tuna, avocado, cherry tomatoes, and a mixed salad. Skinny Bitch's sister, Fat Chick, had been dormant on the trip, except for the time she made an appearance at Bear's Paw Bakery in Jasper. When I was in line for a coffee, she kept poking me to look at a ceramic jar on a shelf. Written on its sides in block letters was, "Come to the dark side, we have cookies." Skinny showed up, and we all argued back and forth, irritating each other in line, until I got to the counter. We compromised on a berry muffin. I assembled my salad at a picnic table on the beach and sat down facing the reservoir. The sun was setting on three kids and a black lab playing in the water. From their shouts and laughter, I learned the dog's name was Bella. She came over to greet me with her tail wagging. An older, mustachioed maintenance man, wearing a ball cap and a light tan work shirt with a park maintenance logo on it, walked the beach area in a grid pattern, picking up garbage. When he came close, I asked, "Is the gate going to close soon?" "No, you can stay here all night if you'd like," he replied without losing a step. I overheard him talking with the women whose kids were still in the water. They talked camping and touched on the fact that the concession people have all pulled out. It's the end of the season, and Loop A is still open for camping. When he made his way back, I asked him about it. He told me that I could camp for free. There was no one around to collect the fees, and the lower women's washroom in Loop A was the only one open. He said there were lots of water spouts available and that there should be enough firewood down there to have a fire. "Camp there until the Forest Service comes and tells you can't," he encouraged. I thanked him and told him I'd go over and check it out. I finished my dinner and packed up the cooler. It was funny how Skinny Bitch and Fat Chick always managed to skip out on the cleaning up part. He came back over to me. "Don't you want to know how to get there?" "Sure. Up there," he said, pointing towards his left. "Turn right after about 3/8 of a mile. Go past a cove with boats, and then turn right again. Then take your next left. Go past the hut. Don't worry about it. No one will be there. Go to where the garbage bins are and turn right past them. So, right, left, and then right. Is that right?" He chuckled. "I figure it is." I circled through Loop A and was blessed with a sight overlooking Cotola Lake. Down the hill to the south, at the next site over, were a young couple in their 20s. They had a truck and a boat trailer and an old canvas tent, the style that used exterior galvanized poles to hold it up. They were enjoying a large fire. I dressed in warm clothes, started a small fire of my own from scraps of wood that I scavenged from a couple of fire pits, and used my headlamps to read a mystery novel I had been meaning to finish. I took the novel to bed around midnight and read until I fell asleep. It had become a pattern, and not just on the road, that I woke up after 3-4 hours of sleep. That morning I woke up at 4:30. My mind was circling, full of questions. Where am I going? What should I do? Why am I feeling the need to be on the move? Should I go home? What's Paula doing? Should I call her again or wait for her to call me? I read some more and then floated in and out of sleep until 6:30, when a beautiful sun rose out the back window of the Ford. It was an exceptional sunrise, like a lot that I had witnessed, like a lot we had all witnessed, I suppose, but it didn't meet the gold standard of the sun setting or rising on the prairies. I thought I had experienced the most beautiful sunsets over granite outcroppings in the woods of the boreal forest, but my bragging rights were smashed when I saw my first prairie sunset driving west toward Saskatoon. I was awed, and it stirred a deep appreciation of the poems and prose that had been written in an attempt to fully capture the essence of the enduring prairie sun, as elusive as the spirit of the soul. I hoped the rising sun would bring some needed warmth for the day. It had been a cold night, and I was very happy with my new blanket. I reluctantly got out of bed, layered on clothes, slid out of the edge and into my boots, put on a jacket, and made some coffee with a percolator on my Coleman stove. Later that morning, I stopped at the Hill City Cafe. That chick was tired because she hadn't slept well for a few days, and she was salivating over the potatoes, sausages, and bacon. Skinny quickly ordered what had lately become my usual breakfast: 2 eggs over easy with wheat toast and sliced tomatoes. I imagined the tomatoes as potatoes, cut up and fried with onions and enough butter to make them crispy and tender. When I got to the cash, Chick stared at the biggest cinnamon rolls she had ever seen. They were as wide as a cantaloupe and as high as a short mug of coffee. Some had white icing and others had melted sugar. I leaned into the counter. They smelled deliciously of bread, yeast, caramel, sugar, butter, and spice. She wanted to roll in them, to lather her breasts and belly in icing and soft, yummy bits of dough. I yanked her out the door. So that was my time at Pictola Lake in South Dakota. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you. Bye.